In this week's episode of Tidbits with Laura, we're going to talk about marriage. Phew, so many ups and downs over 30 years. Yet every year feels like we're taking steps to getting it right. My big aha moment in Italy was that I really need to trust the process. Have you ever felt that way? Do you ever feel like everything, if you've been married for a long time or if you've been married for a year, like you kind of question, why are we doing this? Is this, why is this not going my way? We try to micromanage. I try to micromanage. I don't like micromanaging. I don't like it when I do that, but I catch myself a lot. And in Italy, I recognized that I was doing that, and it's it's overwhelming. And I got to learn to just trust the process. I need to learn how to trust myself. I need to trust in general. I talked about this in the very first episode, first section. I started to stress on our very first day there because we didn't have those formal plans. And I knew, my husband really wanted to see um, the Colosseum and the Vatican, and I couldn't get tickets. And when I went to go get them, they were like $400 a piece. And I was like, I don't know that it's worth that much money. It is, it's beautiful. But when I could have bought them, 2 weeks earlier for $50, it made me question that. Um, so not having the formal plans was making me stress out. Would we actually see anything worthwhile? And Bill, my husband, as he is always, was much more calm than I was. Um, he knew just he knew that we just needed to roll with it. He told me when we made the trip plan that he wanted to just not have everything scheduled out minute to minute, that he wanted to be able to roll with the trip. And I 100% was on board with that. I just, when the time came, I started to get anxious and not trust that we were going to see anything. And was it going to actually happen? But when I was sitting there stressing and just kind of then the next minute we went to dinner and this random place that he had looked up, everything just started to fall into place. Like we didn't have our dinner reservations scheduled ahead of time. I had a list of places that we might like to try. We recommended some, but he went and actually looked up places that were in walking distance, that had good reviews, that was going to have exactly, we didn't have to get a reservation 2 hour, like 2 days ahead of time. Um, and everything started to fall in place. We went to almost every place that we wanted to. We didn't have to rush. We strolled instead of struggling to keep up with a tour. Um, in the in the Vatican, you could see tours everywhere, but in the Vatican, there was like throngs of people, 50 people in one tour, and the guy's holding up an umbrella or a sign, and everybody's following along. And, it was excellent because they were getting a lot of information in the process. But we would have gone out of our minds if we had to kind of keep up with them. So we could bypass them and we could look and spend a little longer than spend longer as much as time as we wanted to and take our time and enjoy it. Some things were missing. We didn't have that instruction that the guide was giving, but we saw everything. And in the process, we laughed and we giggled, and we saw sunset from the top of Piazza Michelangelo. Um, it was just amazing, and even we even laughed. So one night he not so gently nudged me. I'm going to call him out on this one. He kind of kicked. He didn't kick me. He really pushed me hard because I was snoring. I think he was wrong. I don't think I was actually snoring. It's a matter of debate. But it was funny. And I woke up and I was like, stop it. I'm enjoying my sleep. And the next morning, we woke up, he's like, yeah, I wasn't sure if you're going to wake up and be in a really nasty mood or what. And I just laughed about it because it was really funny. Years ago, that little nudge would have been enough to set me off, and I would have been miserable the whole trip and I would have been grumpy. Now, I feel like I'm becoming an adult after 30 years of marriage, and I'm starting to learn to let the little things go. I'm learning to trust. I am growing up, and that feels amazing. Um, it's been a journey, and I think we are continuing to grow. And we struggled a lot in the beginning, just as every marriage does. But it's gotten better and better. And I now can't wait for the next 30 years. I mean, I can, because I don't want it to go fast. These 30 years they've been filled with all of life, everything that we could expect and didn't want to deal with, we have dealt with. And it's made us stronger, and it's brought us together. Um, we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I am learning from him that I can trust, and that um, I need to talk better. I don't need to harp. I don't need to bitch um, or complain, but I need to share what I'm thinking. And sometimes I have to stop myself and like process that, because I'm not very good at expressing myself without rambling or without just like "Rah!" when I get upset. Like I tend to hold it in and then I just explode. But I'm learning, and I'm growing in that process, and he is too. I think we are like, when I can take a pause. There was a couple times like we snapped at each other on our trip, and then we both just looked, and I went over, gave him a kiss, and I was like, "Love you, all's good." And I think the more we do that, life just feels better. This trip was amazing to me, and it's the best. It was a trip of a lifetime, and I'm so blessed that we got to do it together. So I hope you get those to travel, or you get to enjoy that as well. And take that time to listen to your spouse, take the time to check in with you. You can't change what your spouse is thinking or doing, but if you change on how you are perceiving what is happening, maybe it'll be better. It's not always. Not everybody makes it. My parents didn't make it. Um, but it's work. And when you put the work in, and when you take a moment and you reflect and you change how you are, then you're going to end up in a better place for you. That's my tidbit. Um, so my question for this week is, what can you do differently in your relationship to relax and enjoy the process to make it that much better? If this episode was helpful for you, if you liked it and you enjoyed it, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification button, because next week is my last tip, number 5, talk about faith. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day.